Walked in, he walked straight to my table. I stood up and it was like a little stare down match on some like,
Wow.
and I won. And then he just pointed at old girl like,
He walked in with a swagger that filled the room, making a beeline for my table. I stood up, and for a moment, it was like a scene from a western, a silent stare down, tension crackling in the air. I held my ground, and I could tell it caught him off guard. I won that round. Then he pointed at his crew, tossing out a casual, "Yo, get this dude my two-way. Remember two ways? Those clunky pagers that were the height of cool back in the day?" Yeah, he was on that vibe, telling his people to pass me his contact. I didn't hit him up the next day, though. I wasn't busy, but I played it like I was. You don't just jump when someone like that calls. You make them wait, keep them guessing. Nobody needs to know your moves. Long story short, I held off, and then Club New York happened. I realized I'd waited too long to reach out, and the moment slipped away. Now fast forward, and we're all glued to the drama unfolding at Diddy's trial. Everyone knew his former assistants would bring some serious tea, but there's one name that keeps popping up, the wild card everyone's whispering about, Fonzworth Bentley. Yes, the guy who became infamous for trailing Diddy everywhere, holding that oversized umbrella like it was his life's mission. You've heard the stories about Diddy, everyone's got one. But it's not official until you hear it from the guy with the umbrella. Fonzworth Bentley, with his bow ties and polished demeanor, was more than just an assistant. He was a fixture, a shadow, always there, always watching. If anyone saw the inner workings of Diddy's world, it was him. And if the rumors are true, he's already spilling secrets, twirling that umbrella like a maestro conducting a symphony of truth. People are buzzing about Bentley because he's not just another ex-employee with a grudge. He's the one who might hold the key to unraveling some of the darkest chapters of Diddy's empire, maybe even shedding light on what happened to Kim Porter. The streets are talking, and they're saying Bentley's singing like a canary. But there's a twist. His name's been dragged into some ugly allegations too. A recent lawsuit mentions him alongside Diddy, accusing them of serious crimes involving minors. So, who was Fonzworth Bentley in Diddy's world? Was he a victim caught in the whirlwind of a powerful man's chaos, or was he something more, an accomplice perhaps? That's the question everyone's trying to answer. The trial has already painted a grim picture of what it was like to work for Diddy. His former personal assistants have taken the stand, and their stories are chilling. Being Diddy's PA wasn't just about fetching coffee or scheduling meetings. It meant turning a blind eye to things most people couldn't stomach while micromanaging every detail of his life. They had to make sure his toiletries were perfectly aligned, that his hotel suites were stocked with applesauce, Jell-O, and Fiji water. On a good day, the pay was meager, the hours endless, sometimes stretching to 100-hour workweeks. But on the bad days, those were a descent into chaos and illegality. One assistant, David James, testified about driving Diddy to what nearly became a violent showdown with a rival, record exec, Suge Knight. James said he sat behind the wheel in the parking lot of an all-night Los Angeles diner, realizing he might not make it out of that night alive. Another assistant recalled a haunting moment in 2015, hearing Cassie Ventura, Diddy's longtime girlfriend, screaming from the bedroom of his private jet, accompanied by the sound of shattering glass. Then there's Capricorn Clark, who told the court about being forced to travel with Diddy to Kid Cudie's home in 2011. She said Diddy stormed in with a security guard and then fled the scene, leaving her to deal with the fallout. But it's Bentley's story everyone's waiting for. He wasn't just any assistant, he was Diddy's right-hand man, the one who endured public humiliation while carrying that umbrella, the one who saw it all. Bentley came from Atlanta, a regular guy with a humble background, and somehow ended up in Diddy's orbit. He once described himself as a chameleon, someone who could be anything, a designer, a philosopher, a man in a bow tie who didn't quite fit the mold of Diddy's entourage. That ambiguity made him intriguing, but it also made him vulnerable. He was visible yet invisible, known yet unknowable. And now, with his name tied to a lawsuit accusing him and Diddy of horrific acts, people are wondering what role he really played. The lawsuit in question is a bombshell. Filed by Randy Pittman, it claims Bentley approached him under the guise of offering opportunities with Sean John, Diddy's fashion brand launched in 1998. Pittman, who was working with a local talent agency, thought he was being tapped to scout talent for upcoming campaigns and events. Instead, the lawsuit alleges he was lured into a situation that spiraled into exploitation and trauma. According to court documents, Pittman says he was encouraged to bring two underage girls, 13 and 14 years old, to an event he believed was tied to fashion or entertainment. What followed, he claims, was nightmare. The lawsuit accuses Diddy and Bentley of providing alcohol and pills to him and the girls, coercing them into non-consensual acts through threats and intoxication. The allegations are gut-wrenching, painting a picture of predation and betrayal. If true, they raise serious questions about Bentley's role. Was he a pawn, manipulated by Diddy's power, or was he complicit, actively participating in the scheme? The truth is murky, and it's why everyone's waiting for him to take the stand. To understand Bentley's story, you have to go back to how he and Diddy first connected. It was 1999, during Diddy's high-profile trial over a nightclub shooting. They met at a soul food restaurant, and Bentley described it as a moment straight out of a movie. They locked eyes, had that stare down, and something clicked. At the time, Diddy was still Puff Daddy, but he was about to rebrand as P. Diddy, seeking a fresh start after his legal troubles. Bentley, who was managing a restaurant at 11 Madison Park, started sending Diddy inspirational Bible verses during the trial. It was a bold move for a guy who didn't really know him. After Diddy's acquittal, Bentley reached out again, half joking, "Please don't make me go back to my hater boss." That message changed everything. Diddy called him up, waved his hands in Bentley's face, and said, "Your life has just changed. Are you ready?" Just like that, Bentley was in, becoming Diddy's personal assistant and valet. The role wasn't glamorous. Bentley became known as the guy with the umbrella, following Diddy everywhere, from St. Tropez to New York. Paparazzi photos from that era show him trailing behind, holding that oversized umbrella like a shield. But there were whispers of more, rumors that Diddy treated him not just as an assistant, but as something closer, more personal. Some even claimed Diddy forced Bentley into a romantic relationship, a claim that's never been substantiated, but has lingered in the gossip mill. Bentley, for his part, leaned into his unique persona. He wore bow ties, carried himself with a certain flair, and seemed to embrace the absurdity of his role. But behind the scenes, he was navigating a world that was anything but glamorous. Bentley wasn't just an umbrella holder, though. He tried to carve out his own path in the industry. In the early 2000s, he appeared on Diddy's Bad Boy album Too Hot for TV. He popped up in Outkast's Speakerbox X / The Love Below on a skit called Good Day, Good Sir. He made a cameo in Kanye West's The New Workout Plan music video and contributed as a songwriter on Kanye's album Ye. In 2008, he was part of the Yes, We Can music video for Barack Obama's campaign. He even dabbled in acting, landing small roles in films like Honey, Fat Albert, and Think Like a Man Too. By the mid-2000s, Bentley was building a name for himself as a songwriter, producer, and actor. He was more than just Diddy's sidekick. He was a multifaceted talent trying to break free of the shadow. Then suddenly he was gone. Around the time rumors started swirling about his relationship with Diddy, Bentley vanished from the spotlight. He moved to Atlanta, got married, had 2 kids, and embraced a quieter life as a family man. But the past has a way of catching up. When Cassie Ventura filed her explosive lawsuit against Diddy, detailing years of abuse and so-called freak-offs, parties involving costumes, masks, and illicit activities, Bentley's name came up again. Cassie's lawsuit described how Diddy's assistants were tasked with organizing these events, setting up hotel suites with baby oil and lighting, and even delivering gifts to her after incidents to smooth things over. One assistant reportedly broke down in tears alongside Diddy's head of security after witnessing Cassie's distress. Another lawsuit, filed by Lil Rod, claimed assistants were required to carry fanny packs filled with drugs, ready to supply Diddy at a moment's notice.